And let's get to it. Can we pull up the slide for Team Jigglin? Love that fire animation. Super well done. Huge shout out to all the staff behind the scenes who helped make this such an incredible presentation, by the way. But for my team, for Jigglin, for this tournament, we have Doom Balloon Depingus, Lelouch Masamune, Celeria Ishtar, Ed Wee, Sarah Thel, Zeltra Embers, and last but not least, the one, the only, Rinian Embersong!
Hell yeah, and their major competition today on the other team, on Team Umbra, is Let Them Fight. Led first and foremost, waiting on that. Hell yeah.
Am I not sure?
Starting with Sarufox Shimiki, our very own. Man's put in so much work for this tournament. Special shout out to him. Setsuna, Akira Hawk, Amumu, Sarah Spiegel, Setsuna Yuki, Keita Kasasube, and Miu Moon. Now, these two teams have had a really, really intense road to get here. Both of them got knocked out in the second round of the upper bracket, really putting in major amounts of damage, showing huge signs of life against some of the highest rated, some of the hardest competition inside of the tournament so far, with Team Jigglin falling to Wolfus 2-1 and Let Them Fight falling to Skill Issue 2-0. Now, these were some of the closest matches we saw in the lower bracket, definitely exciting. And once they finally got their way into the lower bracket, they ended up making their way here with Team Jigglin defeating Breadwetters and Let Them Fight defeating Panic at the Crystal. Now, these two teams, the stakes are here. We are in the lower bracket, and anyone who loses is finally out, and the pressure is on. From this point forward, at least in the lower bracket, all cards are on the table.
So prepare yourselves. Let's see what the portrait game is going to look like here. Of course, one of the most important aspects of starting off a match is who's going to psych someone out with their terrifying coordination of portrait game, you know. And as I recall, yesterday, Let Them Fight had no centralized theme, so, you know, it might be one for Jigglin. Seems a little scattered, though. Not gonna lie.
All right, looking on Let Them Fight, we've got Ninja, Machinist, Samurai, Astro, and the Gunbreaker.
Hold on, we don't have a samurai. If you look at that portrait of Miu Moon, that is clearly a goddess. That is clearly a goddess.
Hell yeah. All right, so these team compositions, I believe Team Astra has made some pretty substantial swap arounds, especially considering that they're running a warrior. At least, they were not running a warrior yesterday.
We were not. Celeria was actually moving yesterday, so there was no bringing out our warrior, and I'm the fill for that. So I was announcing instead. But
meanwhile, on the other team, we've got the Gunbreaker. Now, Gunbreaker's really been showing a lot of presence in today's tournament. Previously, at least for the first few seasons, Gunbreaker's been considered to be a lower tier pick, especially due to, you know, relatively difficulty of execution and difficulty of actually doing his job of tanking. But with recent buffs to his Nebula, especially to his tank stance, we've seen Gunbreaker to use to almost incredible use.
Oh, but Gunbreaker goes down as the very first target.
Gunbreaker goes down almost immediately. Looks like Keita is... looks like Sox is going for the next target. Has to use Guard, but they manage to get a counter kill onto the Bard. Despite that, it looks like the blue team is...
very own Sox.
Yeah, despite that, it looks like the blue team, with a 4-3 numbers advantage, is able to mostly gain control of the point. Akira Hawk, Miu Moon, both on the point. Looks like Team Umbra is finally able to roughly contest, but they're still not totally together, and they've burned a lot of abilities in order to try to get back onto the point. Right now, the fight is super scattered, with Team Astra still solidly in control.
Indeed, and it looks like Setsuna Yuki might be the kill target, and they go down. It looks like Jigglin waited until the Nebula was down before switching to them, as they were kind of ignoring them while it was up, and it looks like they're switching to Cade, who has no mana. Is trying to make a break for it. They might get away. Don't know what the status of Celeria's Blota is. Akira Hawk, the next kill target, goes down. It looks like Jigglin is going to continue advance and is on Miu Moon at the moment, who is also trying to draw back. Let Them Fight, basically trying to slow roll a retreat at the moment, as they don't want to get caught staggering. They're at 4 right now. Miu Moon gets bloated. Doesn't have LB yet. Will Jigglin be able to get a quick kill here before they go? And they will. Setsuna Yuki also re-engaging, has Gunbreaker LB, has Nebula up, going to be a hard kill target. Let's see if they are the target indeed. Cade Kusakabe was hit by Warrior LB from
Gunbreaker
Solaria.
LB's out.
Gunbreaker
No
LB
kills.
is out, no kills. May have forced some purifies. Oh, Marksman Spite into a guard used on the Warrior for Jigglin. We also have Turbulence coming in about 10 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see who gets flung into the air, who gets a feather, what is happening. Jigglin is on Soxfire Shimiki. Will they be able to get that pick before the Turbulence? Turbulence is hitting. Up goes Edwi, up goes Solaria, and up goes Zeltra. 3 members of Jigglin sent sky high. But they seem to be recovered. No picks immediately off of that. Down goes Solaria. I stand corrected. 1 pick from the Turbulence. Edwi going down. 2 picks from the Turbulence. Jigglin probably about to start forcing a retreat here. Sarathel on the run. Manages to make a pick on Akira Hawk, though. Out goes Samurai LB from Miyu Moon. That is 2 for Jigglin, and looks like Zeltra Embers is going to hold the point. They do have Monk LB. Doubt they're about to use it, though. They are holding on as long as they can, and they go down. Jigglin now on the back foot.
Yeah, a really strong
very
opening from Team Jigglin. Definitely gaining control, managing to break that checkpoint, and managing to push pretty substantially into the enemy base before they end up losing control of the enemy fight. Not only that, they still end up having to... Team Umbra still ends up committing a substantial number of LBs in order to gain control of the checkpoint, and they're not going to have it for the subsequent fight. Unfortunately, Zeltra is currently down their Meteor Dive, so it's going to be interesting to see how they end up getting back control of this.
Yes, and as we go into the opening and engage here, it looks like LB Economy is slightly in favor of Jigglin, although Marksman Spike is up. Will they let it rip? Solaria goes down with LB. Out goes White Mage LB. Soxfire quite low. Are they going to go down? Yes, they will. Zeltra makes the trade, though. And it is 3v4, not in favor of Jigglin at the moment. Scholar LB has been used as well, providing some background healing. Down goes the Ninja. We are now 3v3 with advantage to Jigglin in terms of closeness to spawn. Will they be able to buy some space here? Out goes Sarah's guard. They are now a fairly weak target. They're trying to hold on to the point, though. Solaria Ishtar back into the fight, though. Warrior now holding down the point. And it looks like it is a slow roll game at the moment with no burst flying just yet. Out goes Warrior LB, though. Down goes Miyu Moon. Who will be next? It is now 5v4 back in the point. Cade Kusakabe is low. They are making a run for it. There is a ground pot. Solaria running them down. Might not let them get away. It looks like Solaria is going for that kill, or at least trying, as Let Them Fight kind of retreats and leaves one person on the point who now goes down, Setsuna Yuki. It looks like they're attempting to bully Solaria. Out goes Turbulence. It looks like Zeltra Ember has managed to grab a feather as well as the Lelouch Kusakabe. That might be huge as the... Marksman Spike goes out. Does not secure a kill on Solaria. Solaria going back in without any mana. Very risky move. Down goes Akira Hawk, though, and Setsuna Yuki. It paid off. A 2-for-1 trade. We are back on the fight. The Tornado being quite a bully to both teams at the moment as it hovers around the point there for a second. And we're seeing Zeltra Embers hard on Cade Kusakabe. Will they get a kill here? There is no LB advantage to Jigglin, while there is a major LB advantage to Let Them Fight. Miyu Moon has that Samurai LB. And out goes Setsuna Yuki's LB on point, making for a pick on Lelouch Masamune. Jigglin needs to get back on that point. Here they are. Edwi now holding it down in guard, but also has LB, which he's going to want to let rip here soon. Out it goes to
Where's
minimum
Zeltra?
effect. Zeltra, where are you? There's Zeltra?
Meanwhile, on the point, it looks like 2 LBs are available, stalling out with the Samurai LB. Nobody touches the stove, but Samurai has
Cade
used his
Kusakabe.
defensives. Cade Kusakabe goes down.
Ran them down all the way back to spawn. I don't know if the camera was following that one, but they are dead, and Zeltra is back with a Monk LB. Looking like they're trying to bully anyone who's trying to retreat off the point from Let Them Fight. They are chasing down Miyu Moon. Soxfire Shimiki on the point going down. There are now only 2 members of Let Them Fight. No, 1 member of Let Them Fight actually available on the point to hold it down. Zeltra's stall tactic of running down the back line, very effective in keeping them from managing to elixir and make it back to the fight, securing round 1 for Jigglin.
Oh no, last minute too. Setsuna Yuki finally manages to dash onto the point, but the server snapshots end up making it so that the match ends before he actually ends up getting there. A really, really slugged out fight from both Let Them Fight and Team Jigglin. Alright, and we are going on to Clocktown, our second map of the best of 3. Now, I want to point out Warrior's role. I don't believe I saw any map or comp changes. I guess we'll confirm that right now. Definitely Team Astra hasn't changed anything up, and I want to point out the role of Warrior on Clocktown specifically. So as people know, there are these tatamis, there are these little tiles that are pretty reminiscent of E9S, if you guys ever did that, in which if you stand on that for too long, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're guarding, you will get knocked up, and when you land, take 30,000 damage. Now, Warrior, because of their bloated specifically, makes it really, really easy to get heavily punished if you're standing on tatamis for too long, because they can pull you into a position where you end up getting forcibly knocked up. That, combined with your Primal Ren to prevent you from, being able to purify, means that most tatami kills against a Warrior are often certain death, no matter how much health you were starting with. So it's definitely, Warrior itself is already a pretty strong pick, but they're much, much stronger on this map as well.
And I do believe we saw yesterday Zeltra pull a semi-suicide LB on top of the mats too. Zeltra wound up living through that one. Oh, we are seeing Let Them Fight go to the left dollar. That is a bold move, not often seen in LP. A very, very early initial engage. They aren't on Setsuna Yuki. Down goes Serathel for Team Jigglin. Setsuna Yuki fairly low though, but has some mana. Will they be able to get the pick? Not looking good. Celeria Ishtar low on mana, low on health, down. It looks like Jigglin is at a disadvantage here in this initial engage with only 3 members remaining, and Lelouch Masamune holding down the point, and Edwi standing near the tatami looking like he's ready to bail, and so he does.
Yeah,
two major caught out as well.
2 major picks on the opener, all that damage going onto Setsuna Yuki, who manages to get that guard before he actually goes down. Suddenly, all that damage is suddenly wasted, and the fact that they didn't get that return kill meant that they ends up still slow dying for this opener exchange. Gives Team Umbra control of the checkpoint and probably a checkpoint break, while Team Astra is forced to regroup.
Indeed, and what we're also seeing here, of course, is a LB economy advantage, of course, is going to now favor Let Them Fight, but they also didn't run down Jigglin at the spawn. They respected them, didn't want to potentially risk any sort of overextension there. Down goes Soxfaro, Celeria Ishtar also going down, very low on health there. Zeltra Embers almost has Monk LB, has touched the stove, taking extra damage from the Samurai in return. Who are they on? Cade Kusakabe has Monk LB, or sorry, Marksman Spite as a machinist. LB coming up. Zeltra, low mana, low health. Down they go right as they get their LB up. We do see Lelouch Masamune with Scholar LB. That can help buy some time. We'll see what Jigglin is able to do to recover. Lelouch taking massive damage, and he is run down. That is Marksman Spite, probably to the back of the skull. That is not a fun feeling. And we are seeing some tatami mat there. Miu Moon caught by Primal Ren from the Warrior, as you mentioned, but the crystal is moving, and Jigglin needs to get on it.
The point, Serathel finally manages to get onto the point in order to stop them from immediately losing the game. With LBs at their disposal, it looks like Team Astra should have a way to get this back, so long as they are able to live long enough to hit those buttons. Meteor Dive goes out to secure that first kill onto Setsuna Yuki, denying them that Gunbreaker LB. We'll see whether or not they're able to follow up. They do onto the Astra.
With the laser to the back of the skull. Miu Moon does have Samurai LB, that's incredibly dangerous, as we all know, but they go down in Miracle of Nature. Akira Hawk.
It looks like they finally managed to stabilize at a whopping 95.2%. It's an uphill battle from here. And the fact that they had to use almost all of their limit breaks in order to get control of this point or immediately lose the game, kind of a rough uphill battle. Then again, on the other side...
It would normally be, but the coins that you can see is raising Zeltra's LB almost back immediately. So Jigglin is coming in with 3 LBs.
Good point. Yeah, and especially considering the LBs that they are facing down, specifically Samurai LB and Gunbreaker LB. Strong, powerful abilities, but ultimately play a groundable. Setsuna Yuki goes in.
From the door, no less. Down goes Miu Moon, not going to be allowed to use their LB. Celeria letting the Warrior LB rip. Only on the one target, though, unfortunately, but it looks like Setsuna Yuki is still taking a beating after using Nebula and their LB.
Doesn't even manage to land the last bit of that damage on the limit break. That damage mostly went into a guard and 2 members down. Two members down, but looks like both of them, Miu Moon is respawning, but looks like the target is currently on Akira Hawk, goes down before he's able to use that Seiton Chain, try to stop the bleeding. Star Fox Shimiki forced to be on the point.
Right, and also about to go down as a result. Miu Moon back in the action. Out goes the Samurai LB, and it makes a pick on Celeria. That is
too little, too late. He's alone on the point, and he's gotten that pick, but they were still at a numbers disadvantage, even with that massive LB committed in order to try to regain control of the point. Setsuna alone on the point now.
And if Jigglin keeps up this pressure, that Samurai LB is not going to come back up in this fight.
It's
Down
looking
goes
rough.
Setsuna
Looks like-
Yuki.
Is
Question
he
mark?
going down?
Question mark?
Are they
Looking
out of
like it.
burst?
I don't know. They've got it's walk on the tatami or continue to get punched by Zeltra. Neither is an appealing option. Zeltra hounding Setsuna Yuki. Will the dot tick get them? No, it will be Zeltra, but it was close. It is
Team
now
Astro's-
5v3. Someone got shrunk though. Edwi, also extra mini. A mini Lalafell, as it were. And it
Worth
looks like
noting
Kate Kusakabe has maneuvered behind the team to try to take advantage of that potentially. We'll see. Miu Moon goes down on point. Akira Hawk coming back in. Out goes Sock Sparrow's Astrologian as LB. Holding in guard. Will they survive immediately after, though? Jigglin has Warrior and Wim LB coming up. It is 5v4 on the point right now. Lelouch Masamune getting low on mana, out of guard. Seraph LB has been ripped. Out goes White Mage LB. Down goes Warrior from the Ninja LB Satan. And the
Yojimbo?
percentage, Jigglin has managed to succeed in exceeding the
point.
percentage.
Jigglin still hasn't managed to succeed. There's still
Oh.
a couple percent, it's not a couple fractions of a percent down, and they just managed to go down just because of that robot. And just like that, Team Umbra steals away what was almost certain victory.
That was damn close.
14-13, one of the closest matches we've seen today. Doesn't look like either composition has changed their job selection. Looks like they're just keeping these comps onto Palestra. Now, like I mentioned about the Warrior and how much it benefits from the fact that there are these tight corridors, Palestra, especially on open, is mostly made of this extremely large open space. That said, the initial places where people are standing during that opener in order to try to make sure that they aren't immediately caught out tend to still be these smaller, narrow areas. So it's depending on how each team positions, it's still very possible for a Warrior to massively capitalize on an enemy team's mistake. Definitely going to be interesting to watch out for that, at least in the opener, and especially later on in the game when this crystal moves towards these tighter hallways and Warrior ends up having this advantage, at least for these force clumps.
And what we also saw that really gave the advantage to let them fight there was that opening engage out of left doors seemed to catch Jigglin by surprise and force a fight that was advantageous to let them fight. It is a bold strategy for that exact reason because it can have exactly that effect, but it also puts the team coming out the door at a slight disadvantage if they are caught as they come out that door. So there was a decision made, a strategy attempted, and it did pay off with very, very significant early crystal advancement that ultimately won the fight for let them fight. And we see Miu Moon going in early, also popping guard early. We'll see if they get abused for that. They have balance. They've got Meikyo up. They didn't need to pop Purify, but
yeah, Meikyo, the move that ends up following up with the casted 16,000 damage, ends up making you CC immune. Oh, Lelouch.
Miu Moon back in. Lelouch Masamune, the kill target, goes down. Will Jigglin manage to make a pick on Let Them Fight in return? Sarathel, the next kill target, apparently. Miu Moon back in the rear of Jigglin's back line. And it does not look like Jigglin is going to walk away with a kill from this very first engagement, unfortunately. Zeltra Ember is trying to run down Cade Kusakabe.
Huge riddle.
Out. But down they go, question mark. The healers are back, but down goes Zeltra. Out goes Gunbreaker LB, forcing that early guard as they try to chase down Celeria Ishtar, the warrior, who appears to make it away to the ground pot. Jigglin still fighting Lelouch Masamune, being chased down now next. Edwi and Sarathel are still up. Edwi, White Mage with LB. Akira Hawk has Ninja LB coming up. Cade Kusakabe has Machinist LB coming up. Out goes White Mage LB. Jigglin trying to buy back some time here, apply some pressure for that counter assault on Miu Moon. Will they be able to get this pick?
It's looking like they might not be able to.
They will, but it's going to take a lot of time. And
meanwhile, on the point,
Zeltra Embers has their LB. Out goes a Warrior LB. Down goes Zeltra before they're able to rip that Monk LB. There is the Warrior guard strip on a lot of Let Them Fight right now, and Akira Hawk has used LB, but will they be able to get a second kill from the Satan chain? I don't believe so. We are seeing Lelouch Masamune with Scholar LB about to come up, but he is also a hard kill target, and he needs to be retreating right about now, which he does appear to be doing successfully. He did push past 50. I think Let Them Fight is going to just not let them fight at the moment. Down goes Akira Hawk by Celeria Ishtar. Mew Moon has Chi-Ten, has LB. Will anyone touch the stove? Celeria has. Will they go down? And they will. Out. It is 4v4. Out goes Scholar LB. Out goes White Mage LB from Jigglin. Let them fight. Low on health on Mew Moon. Will they go down? Setsuna Yuki also low on health, but a little more mana to recover. But down goes Setsuna. Will Mew follow? That is the question. Nope, looks like Mew Moon falling back far enough to get a safe elixir off. Will Cade Kusakabe be caught is the question now, as Zeltra Embrys pushes ahead and is now running on to Mew Moon, but goes down in the process.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Team Umbra, Let Them Fight, was not totally sure about whether or not they wanted to commit to this fight or not. With the use of the Samurai LB, especially in a relatively staggered, not grouped together scenario, it's really, really hard for them to come back together. And it seems like we've basically ended up at a sustained full reset. With these LBs, no one clearly at the advantage. Kade gets a snipe off?
Yes, they do. And it looks like Edway's trying to retreat, but will he be able to succeed? That is the question. There's 1 minute and 30 seconds left. About time enough for one recovery and a team fight, depending on how this goes. Zeltra trying to run down Mew Moon, now falling back, and it looks like Let Them Fight's going to let Zeltra retreat. Meanwhile, Lelouch Masamune going to be the wisest man on point, holding it down with Serathel as Let Them Fight comes towards them. They managed to buy a few seconds there. And will that be enough to have prevented significant advancement of the crystal by Let Them Fight when it starts to matter? Zeltra trying to go around for a flank, but gets caught out, goes down immediately. Cade goes down as a trade, though. Celeria Ishtar has Warrior LB, but is stopping to Standard Elixir before they go back in. Or are they? They stopped casting. Now they're casting again. Let Them Fight significantly low on mana here, and in fact, hard LB advantage in favor of Jigglin at the moment. Akira Hawk has used their Ninja LB. Mew Moon, hard target right now. Down they go, right as their LB comes up, not letting another Chi-Ten LB possibly screw up Jigglin's respawn this time. We do see Jigglin trying to hold the point. Celeria Ishtar holding that LB. Out it goes now. Being used on Akira Hawk and Cade Kusakabe, trying to wipe up those two kills. Will they be able to do it? Setsuna Yuki about to go down next. Mew Moon back up, has LB, not going to be there right now. They're still back at spawn. So we are seeing...
It looks like they finally gained control of the point, and Team Astra's got a bit of a work ahead of them. Going into overtime, they're not going to be able to hit that 50%. They're going to be forced to be on this point for the entire point of the checkpoint break, but luckily they only have to go 6% after that. Unfortunately for them, Let Them Fight, respawning, finally able to group together. Are they going to be able to face down these two LBs? Scholar LB is popped.
Scholar LB has popped early. We have White Mage LB on Jigglin. Out it goes. Chi-Ten up on Mew Moon. No one touching the stove this time. Setsuna Yuki, Gunbreaker LB out. Edwy actually touched the stove, apparently. Unfortunate for Edwy. Zeltra Ember's hard kill target. Jigglin needs someone on the point. Chain is rolling from Akira Hawk, and Lelouch Masamune will fall next.
Gets that reset with one more target down. Can they get this the third?
We will see Celeria Ishtar and Serathel trying to hold down the point. Cade Kusakabe incredibly low. A Blota might be able to pull them back and finish them. Out goes the Blota. What burst does Celeria have? Nothing. They are holding guard right now, but they might have bought enough time. Edwy finally coming back in.
Warrior's got to be on the point.
Someone's got to be on the point. Sarah touched it, and Edwy is back and going on to the point. We have a White Mage holding down the point, and Zeltra Ember is coming back in with Riddle of Earth and Monk LB. Will they be able to use it? Down goes Edwy. It is 2 versus 5. This is a very unfortunate position to be in. Out goes Zeltra's LB. And to no avail, picking on, or trying to pick Setsuna Yuki. Lelouch Masamune holding guard, but eating all of the damage increase stacks from Gunbreaker LB. And that will be it. Jigglin is out. And Let Them Fight will advance.
A really solid performance from both Let Them Fight and Jigglin, duking it out for almost this entire match with almost no pause to breathe on either side. Definitely an interesting way to see just how important it is to either touch or break 50% checkpoint before you end up getting to overtime, forcing those bad advantages, forcing dashings onto the guard out of position and reducing the amount of damage your team is actually able to produce is a substantial reason why they ended up losing that match. Huge plays by Let Them Fight.